And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, very excited about in a week. We know in a week it will be exit wounds. A lot of people are talking about it. In 1 week in Newcastle, you see it free on the WCPW YouTube channel. Will Ospreay challenging Drew McIntyre, or Drew Gallo. At WCPW will be Will Ospreay challenging the champion, Drew Galloway.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest
A massive event.
It is the main event of Loaded. Coming to the ring at this time from Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in tonight at 228 pounds. He is the local hero, Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry's the man that ruined Kurt Angle's farewell 2 weeks ago at True Destiny. Joe Hendry's the man that embarrassed his family and the fans that he did have with his conduct with a low blow on an Olympic legend. And then he came out here last week, blamed the fans for it, wouldn't take any responsibility. And then Alberto Del Rio, who was involved in that match with Kurt Angle, made the challenge.
Normally Joe comes out to a sea of hands going to and fro, and now those hands are doing something entirely different.
Oh, this ought to be an amazing main event, folks.
Local wanker. Local wanker. Local wanker. Local wanker.
I see a shirt in his future.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponents, wrestling out of San Luis, Mexico, and winning tonight at 230 pounds, Alberto El Patron.
Alberto El Patron laid down a very stern, coarsely worded challenge last week that Joe Hendry accepted for this week. Henry didn't want to wrestle last week, so here he is now, and talking's over.
Yeah, and I don't know why Joe Hendry would want to piss off the president of Combates America, a MMA stalwart, a professional wrestling near legend when his career will be over, Alberto El Patron.
Patron can beat you scientifically, and he certainly is a great submission wrestler with his MMA background. Highly honored, highly awarded amateur wrestler. His father, one of the greats of all time in Mexico, in Belcara.
And I don't know what Joe Hendry can do to get an advantage here, because taking nothing away from Joe, but I don't think he can go hold for hold with Alberto. And he can't turn this into a fight. So what does Joe Hendry do?
He's got to have a great plan and be able to quickly capitalize on any mistake that Del Rio's emotions may lead him to make.
That's a good point.
Snapmare quickly taken over, and a low drop kick to the back of the head. Del Rio not working by the hour, going for the cover here in the main event on WCPW.
And El Patron is certainly pissed off.
Hard shot. Right to the temple. A succession of shots. And a stepladder enziguri, only this time to the ribs. So maybe that's not an enziguri. That's a hell of a kick.
Joe Hendry's setback against Drew Galloway.
Here we go for another cover by El Patron, who is dominating.
Forces Joe Hendry back to the bottom of the pile, and maybe that frustration, maybe that was what it was that forced Joe Hendry to turn his back on the fans, on his family.
Henry trying to make a quick exit out of the arena here.
You don't want to take the fight outside the ring with Alberto.
Oh.
See?
Henry tossed down the metal rampway. Very steep. Oh, gosh. Man, Alberto went right chest and face first into the ring post, and look at Joe Hendry. He's like a madman.
We asked what Joe would have to do to gain an advantage. He used the steel ring post, and now
there's a cover, and Alberto El Patron quickly kicking out. Ooh. Hard whip to the turnbuckle by Hendry, who's got a decided advantage now. He's taking advantage of one mistake. And now the key is here. Henry's taking advantage of one mistake. Can he maintain that advantage and build on it?
Absolutely, because Alberto isn't going to make many, so Joe certainly better take advantage.
Really happy your fans are with us here. Coming to you from Leicester, University of.
What is that there? Looks like somewhat of a version of a Cobra Clutch. A little modification there, the hand on the chin.
I've never understood the difference between a Cobra Clutch, the $1 Million Dream, and the Shinanomaki.
It all depends on who does it, I suppose.
Done right, it's very effective. And it looks like Joe Hendry's doing it right, as Alberto with a sense of urgency to fight out of it in a very compromising position. Nice back suplex by Hendry. Earns a near fall. Hey, how big a win would this be for Joe Hendry?
Oh gosh, I mean, a victory here, in my opinion, it vaults Joe right back into the title discussion. Even though we're talking about Drew Galloway and Will Ospreay coming up next week at Exit Wounds, a win here for Joe, and you have to put him in the conversation.
Another cover results in another near fall. Hendry so full of himself. What a change in personality for a young man that so many people respected and liked at one time.
Yeah, but this is a mistake. You have your back to Alberto. You're giving him time. El Patron is up, and Hendry is down.
Another step up enziguri, this time right to the head. The most unpopular man in the building will be the referee if this ends up in a count out. And it's not.
A lot of space between the two fighters now. Hendry looks to make up the distance.
And the veteran El Patron now is dictating his pace, initiating the offense. Powerful backstabber by Alberto. And a near fall. Alberto thought he had 3.
This may be 6 degrees of separation, but what does it say for the legacy of Kurt Angle that he's still influencing wrestling? Both of these men have had classic matches with Kurt Angle. Both of them got better because of it, and now they collide. Oh, speaking of which, there's the ankle lock.
And he calls it the Hendry lock. He said it was always the Hendry lock.
That's blasphemy to me.
And Del Rio countered, slipped out the back door on that counter, right on the arm. That was great strategy there by Del Rio. And with a straight super kick, the cover got Alberto another near fall. So the succession of near falls is beginning to build up. And at some point, we both know there'll be no kick out.
Absolutely, it wears on you. You have to push a 200-plus pound man off of you. Every time you do that, you expend energy that you could be using for a maneuver. Alberto certainly an emotional competitor, as you alluded to earlier on. Might be going for the Destiny armbar there.
Oh! Counter to the DDT. Hendry got a gigantic near fall utilizing a perfectly executed DDT. Hey, don't make any mistakes about Joe Hendry's abilities. He's a hell of a wrestler.
Sure.
And he had a wonderful future ahead of him. Maybe he still does. But boy, he's going to be traveling that road with a lot less people.
That's right. Attitude is everything, but they do say that you do not get into this sport to make friends. So whatever side of the fence you're on, that's how you feel about Joe Hendry.
Alberto's got a headbutt, boy, right across the bridge of the nose. And Hendry in a vulnerable position.
No, Joe got out of the way and
Alberto, oh my God. Hendry intended to clothesline Del Rio, and now the low blow, just like he did Kurt Angle on Alberto El Patron. The poor referee has been knocked senseless and then just got kicked in the head inadvertently by Hendry. Alberto El Patron with a vile low blow, and now the steel chair being brought into play with Hendry with evil intentions.
Hang on a second.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Intervention here.
Joe Coffey and Travis Banks.
Coffey and Banks.
Alberto has the respect of the locker room, and there you go.
Unarmed the man.
What?
Oh, hey! What the? Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Stop this! What the hell are we seeing, Matt?
Why? Is it because Alberto is near the top of the food chain? Like, I don't get this.
Why are Coffey and Banks? Why are they aligning themselves? Apparently, we think with Joe Hendry.
Travis Banks had a great match last week with Ricochet. He's won me over. The fans sing Iron Man for Joe Coffey. What is going on?
These three men are assaulting the great Alberto El Patron, who is helpless now. Oh my gosh. There's just no reason for that. And look at Hendry directing traffic like he was a criminal. Referee back. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, the local hero, Joe Hendry.
Well, Joe Hendry, Joe Coffey, and Travis Banks has just soiled the sheets. Referee's been abused, but the bottom line here is that Alberto El Patron just got annihilated by these three men.
I have nothing to say.
What the hell is going on here?
Monday, March 6th, live from Newcastle and free on YouTube. Drew Galloway will defend his WCPW championship against the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. And the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, will defend his WCPW Internet Championship. WCPW proudly presents Exit Wounds. Monday, March 6th, 7:30, 2:30 Eastern. Tickets still available at WC.PW.